what's up everybody? Calloway Design here. I have historically come at you with short videos and no face behind the screen, but today I wanted to introduce myself, introduce my company, and introduce this channel. I know there are a lot of other channels out there that do a great job of providing content, but the goal here is to have as much content out there as possible to help Revit users improve their skills and productivity throughout the day. I know that I've gotten a lot of use out of YouTube videos over the years, and frankly, I still do. Any comments you have, any video suggestions, feedback, constructive criticism are welcome and encouraged. Just remember to keep it respectful. These videos do take a little time to put together, so if you wouldn't mind smashing that like button and subscribe, it will help the YouTube algorithms, and it will also help me understand the content that you guys like and help me provide the best content possible for you all. My name is Brandon Calloway, president of Calloway Design, based out of Golden, Colorado. Please check out the website, which is on your screen right now, and also I'll put a link down in the description below. I have been running Revit for about 10 years now, and I've been running AutoCAD for over 20 years and been in the AEC, architectural, electrical, construction industry for over 20 years. Today I'm coming at you with 5 tips and tricks. These are going to be geared more towards beginners, but I encourage intermediate and advanced users to stick around. Maybe you get some use out of it, or maybe you have some feedback, and maybe you can help us out as well. But anyway, 5 tips and tricks, pretty basic for any Revit users. This should work if you're doing architectural, structural, mechanical, electrical, or plumbing. Anyway, let's dive right on in. All right, first things first is going to be use of templates. I would highly recommend using templates. They're going to save you a ton of time. Project templates. So when you go to start a new project, you're going to get this pop-up, new project, template files. You can see that I've got mine set up for CDL, which stands for Callaway Design LLC. I set these up and specifically direct Revit to show me these when I start a new project. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. For purposes of this, I will just select this MP, which stands for Mechanical and Plumbing BIM template. Okay, we'll open that up, and I have a startup sheet, which is this page here. Usually I'll go ahead and fill all this information in. This is anything that anybody else on the team needs to know. I'll go ahead and put any kind of notes right there. And the nice thing about templates is that you go ahead and put everything that you want in there. If you're working on architecture, you can do doors, walls, anything that you use a lot. Go ahead and put those in a template file, all your annotations. I go ahead and set up my schedules, my notes, my cover page, so that once I start a project, that's it saves me a ton of time in setting everything up. So use of templates is going to be huge. It's going to save you a lot of time. I go ahead and, like I said, I got my schedules over here. I've got sheets already set up for my cover page. I've got my families. You'll see I got a bunch of CDL, grid heads, level head, supplier diffuser tags, etc., etc. So what I typically do, now I've been doing this for a while, but if you're starting out, get a project going and use that as your template to kind of start with, to get your template going and delete anything that's not needed for an actual template. I'll do a more in-depth tutorial on how to actually do the template file, or how I do it anyway. Best way that I found. And if you notice, when I opened mine up, you saw that I had CDL in there. When you open yours up, you might see architectural, imperial, structural, imperial, metric, whatever it says. In order to get your specific templates to show up like that, instead of having to browse every time, click on File up here, go to Options, go to File Locations, and then right here, you'll see the list that you're seeing when you go to start a new project. If you hit plus, you will be able to browse and find the template that you've set up. I'll just go ahead and show you real quick how mine is. I got a folder specifically for this, and I got my annotations above that you saw, but here are my templates. These are 2022 templates, and here's my 2023. So I've added in my building design template, my mechanical and plumbing BIM template, and my Callaway Design mechanical and plumbing engineering template. So use of templates, use them. They're going to save you a ton of time. All right, here we go with tip number two, numero dos. Here we go. Let's do it. Tip number two is going to be the use of view templates. Speaking of templates, we got our project template that we started out with. And now once we get our project going, we've got view templates. And I would recommend getting your view template set up with your project template. So again, if you're new, I've always got my properties tab open down here, or over here, excuse me. So if you scroll down under identity data, you're going to see this view template right here. So if you click on that, you can see I've got a bunch of them. Now what you may see if you're new to Revit and you haven't set any view templates up, what you may see is it might say architectural, structural. These are my sort of out of the box, if you will, templates that I've set up that are under my project templates. So for this particular view I've got here, this is a little 50,000 square foot school we just finished up in Thornton, Colorado, or excuse me, Greeley, Colorado. And so I will just use this duct as an example. You can see I've got a bunch of other ones, plan view. I got them from my shop drawings, spools, sleeves, 3D views, et cetera, et cetera. So you go in there, customize it how you want to. You can do anything from the scale. Now you can include or exclude. You can see the scale I kind of want to adjust, the detail level I want to adjust, et cetera, et cetera. These things shouldn't even be here. I should get rid of those. So anyway, the nice thing is this is how I use it. You can come in here if you don't want like duct installations for this view. I don't want on lighting devices, lighting fixtures. This is within my model. I do a lot of mechanical and plumbing, so I've always got structural and mechanical loaded in. So in certain views, I might want my structural turned completely off, and sometimes I've got others. Sometimes I've got, you know, plumbing, electrical, fire protection, whatever. Like I said, this one was kind of a small job, but so anyway, so I've got just architecture turned on here, and you can actually come in and customize how you want your architecture to be. Now you have to, when you come in to start with, it's probably going to say by host. You need to click on custom, and then you can come into model categories, for instance. You got to go in here and also click on custom, and then you can start taking stuff away. And this is duct installation, that's not really applicable. What is this furniture. So I come in here, I turn off my furniture, lighting fixtures, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, you've got that's within the Revit link right there, since I have a link in this one. But within your view for visibility graphics override, you've got model categories, annotation, analytical. I honestly don't mess with this a whole lot, to be honest with you. Imported categories, if you've got other file types, I think a lot of times I've got DWGs, DXFs, whatever I've got. Filters is going to be a big one. We've got a tip on filters. You're going to want to use filters. And so anyway, go in there, set, if you're finding that you're seeing something in a view that you don't want, for, in a large plan or for a site plan or elevation plan, that's what I would use to set up these view templates for each one of those. That way it makes it custom across the board, makes it easy on you. All you've got to do is come in here. Let's say I wanted to change this to mechanical pipe. I just select on mechanical pipe, apply, okay. No, I'm not going to do it here, but I'm just going to hit cancel. But use of view templates. I was initially against them. Over time, I've realized that they save me a ton of time. So use them, utilize them, and they'll save you a lot of time as well. All right, let's get right to tip number three. Tip number three is going to be the use of filters. You've got two different types of filters. You've got rule-based filters and selection-based filters. What I'm specifically talking about here is going to be rule-based filters. So within your view template that we looked at in the last tip, what I like to do is come in here and you can see VG overrides filter. Go ahead and click on that. And it'll pull up this same box that we had a minute ago. Doesn't matter which one you click on, you can get the filters just as easily. So you can see here that I've got supply air, transfer air, return air, exhaust air, outside air, and refrigeration. And I've applied a transparency override to them. So the way that these work, if you come in, you can see that I've got a bunch of them. I've only applied a few to this specific view. And I'll show you another one in a second, but it's got other things applied to it. What this allows me to do is I can say system abbreviation. Now you can, this is basically telling it what to look for within Revit, right? So I'm saying, okay, look for the system abbreviation that is equal to supply error. And so you can go in and do that for all of these different, you can set up as many filters as you would like, rule-based filters, and whatever you're specifically working on right here. Duct accessories, fitting installation, and ducts is what I was looking for specifically on this one. If I go to DCW, which is domestic cold water, you can see that that has changed to pipe accessories, fittings, installation, and pipes. So come in here. I'm not going to get too in depth in it, but come in here and set up filters for yourself, and it's going to allow you to do overrides. I don't want any overrides for my lines and patterns. Maybe you do. Maybe you, for specific views, you want to have a different style for it, different transparencies, which I do. So, use of filters, I I use them. They help me set up different views, especially because I use different types of systems, which is mechanical. Like I just show you supply air, return air, etc. Plumbing system, domestic water, hot water. Sometimes I don't want all those on at the same time because it's too much clutter within my drawing. So for each one of my specific view templates, I might have a different kind of filter. Oh, let's take a look at it. So if I go into just real quick, if I go into, let's just say plumbing domestic. So I've got a different one for shop drawings for plumbing domestic, which is only going to show my hot water, cold water, and circ line. And I've got one specifically for DWV, which is domestic waste and vent. So if we come in here and we look at filters here, you can see that I've got everything that I want turned on for waste and vent, and everything that I don't want on, which is hydronic, domestic hot water recirculation, gas, and refrigeration, all turned off. And you can see also that I've applied a transparency to the two that I want on. So this is very useful when you're doing multiple sheets, multiple different views, and you want to have a certain appearance with your pipes or walls, duct, etc., etc. Filters, I like them. I get a lot of use out of them. Hope you will too. All right, next up we've got model groups. Model groups are going to come in handy probably more on larger projects. I don't find myself using them a whole lot on smaller residential projects or even smaller commercial projects. But this is a high rise that we did that consists of mainly apartments. And so the model group function really came in handy for me. And this one saved me a ton of time. We did the mechanical 3D modeling for this building, and we had 207 units, I think it was, and we had to copy around our units throughout the entire building. So I used model groups to copy these around. I've got my model group here, which is unit type B3, model group here, A21, and I'm going to quickly show you how to create a model group and be able to copy it around the building. So if you select everything here, and we're going to back up to tip number 3 and look at filter again because we use rule-based filters in tip number 3. You've also got selection-based filters, which is this instance right here. And I selected some things I do not want in this model group, so I'm going to select filter. I'm going to come in here and get rid of specialty equipment, room tags. I'm going to get rid of generic models. I'm going to keep my pipes and pipe fittings, flex duct, blah, 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 air terminals. All right, I'm going to apply. And it even shows you here if you carry, you got 85 selected. Now I'm going to go to create group. You can also hit GP, which is a keyboard shortcut, which we'll get to in the next tip. Go ahead and select group. It's going to pop up and ask me to name it. And I'm going to name it unit AU1. Oops, let's do unit AU1. And we'll say okay. And you can see, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not real sure why it applied P2 to this, but what we can do though is I've got a little section here. I was going to show you this anyway. We've got a section here. If we go here to my section, that's the section cut through here. We are going to, oh, look at this. We got a great example of using view templates here. When I just did a new section, it looks all out of whack, all I've got to do is select on that and it's going to look exactly how I want it to now. So there's a good use of view templates right there. So anyway, unit level 4 is the one I had. So that's that. Another thing you can do, I'll just show you real quick, is you can edit your group. If you ever want to add anything or take anything away, you can do this. I saw some stuff that like I didn't want it in there. There we go. That's what it was. Um, so I removed that. Let's finish. And now when we select it, oh, we got it. Dang it. I'm going to do it real quick just so you can see also that you can remove stuff. And I got to remove it again. Remove. It should be everything. All right, so it says P2 right here. You will have to, only way I know how to do it, if you guys know another way, let me know. But you have to come in here. This little dot sets the origin point, I guess, if you will. I'm going to drag this up to level 4. I'm going to change this to level 4 and this to 0. And we're good to go. Now, this is a big project, so everything kind of takes a while. Sorry about that, but I wanted to show this to you. So now I've got my group AU1 as a group, and if I select on that, I can come here to level 5. You can see that it's not in here. It's got that selected for some reason, but you just go in there, and matter of fact, we'll just do it real quick. Remove that. Okay. Now you can see that nothing's here. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go to modify. Did we not copy it? All right, so we need to select it, and then we're going to copy it. Copy the clipboard. We'll go to level 5. We're going to do this for, well, I'm only, for this purposes of this video, I'm only going to do level 5, but we do 5, 6, 7, 8. We do this all the way up the building. I'm going to come in here, align the current view. That's how I do it. I'll plop it right there for me. Now it's still going to say that it's, oh, perfect. Base reference level base number 5. So as you go up, it's going to go ahead and attach that to your base level as you want it. And that is the use for model groups. All right, last and certainly not least, tip number 5, keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts are probably one of my favorite features to help me get through the day and increase my productivity in Revit. I'm an old school AutoCAD user, and when I switched over to Revit, I found myself clicking buttons left and right, and then quickly realized that hotkeys or keyboard shortcuts, whatever you want to call them, are extremely helpful. A lot of the functions that you use already have them built in. If you look at plumbing fixture, if you just hover over something that you use a lot, it'll tell you right there plumbing fixture, PX, flex pipe, FP, so on and so forth. If you find that you use something a lot that does not have a keyboard shortcut, you can create one. Every time I find myself using a repeated command and it doesn't have one, I go in here and create one. Go to File, Options, and then go to User Interface, and then Keyboard Shortcuts, and you can find pretty much any command that you want and create a keyboard shortcut for it. If you want to, let's just say you want to make a keyboard shortcut for symbol, you could do SM maybe, assign, that's sorry, for sheet metal maybe. Let's just say SY maybe. All right, so now a symbol, we've got a keyboard shortcut for SY, and just that quickly, we can hit OK, OK, SY, and boom, we can plop a symbol wherever we want to. I use this for duct. I use it for pipe, which isn't going to show up. Oh, it is. Because I only did mechanical, so I don't have plumbing turned off. If I want to do a wall, I got WA, etc. If I want to do a keynote, I've got KN, which is one that I had to set up. Again, KN is not one out of the box. I had to set that one up myself, but I use keynotes, and so I use that function quite a bit. Anyway, use of keyboard shortcuts right there at your fingertips. I have one hand on my mouse and one hand on my keyboard all day anyway. So if I can just really quickly type it into my keyboard, it saves me a lot of time from having to come up here, figure out which tab it was under, which ribbon. There's too many functions for all that. So use a keyboard shortcut to get you through the day. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content.